$2,000 from Rocky Mountain. Let's go racing, live from Southwick. And Jett Lawrence and Plessinger battling for it. Lawrence on the 18 has the whole shot with his brother right behind him.
Yeah, big old pile up in that first corner. Almost caught Jorge Prado. He was up there, barely missed it, but that's my keys to the moto. These guys did not hear me. It's Jett Lawrence out front, like you said, followed by his brother. It's going to be tough for these guys.
But Plessinger right there knocking on the door, as well as Cooper Webb. Prado in green. Watch him on the outside.
Yeah, Jorge Prado was almost 2.5 seconds faster than all these guys in that second practice. So we'll see how he goes. But good to see the Cowboy. They know they need to make some passes to get up there with that 18. Once he gets comfortable, it's going to be difficult to get around them.
And Eli Tomac is back in 11th, the multi-time champion who's so good at this track. He has work to do. Prado, see him there on the left side, trying to get the number 2 of Webb.
Yeah, Jorge wanted to get to that line where Cooper Webb was, but sometimes it funnels into one line. But it's good to see the number 7 Monster Energy Kawasaki being super aggressive. He should maybe have the power on the inside of Cooper Webb if he can get to the inside of him.
And Plessinger working on Hunter Lawrence for second. Not able to make it happen.
No, Aaron's going to try to slingshot around this outside. It's going to funnel back into one line. But here at Southwick, you got to be careful of being so close to the guy. You're going to run out of vision, and it's hard to do that when you see the number 18 out front. You want to get going, but as quickly as we say that, we can see the gap already growing with Jett Lawrence.
And the reason Prado there in that green machine is such a story. This is the multi-time MXGP champion from Europe who is expected to contend for race wins and podiums this year, and it has not gone that way at all this morning in qualifying. The first real show of speed in America for him with those fast qualifying times. Could today be a turnaround? He needs to get Webb, and he's trying again. Yeah, he's trying to get it. And one thing that we haven't seen all year really is Jett Lawrence. Once he's out front, he's been out front a lot, but him being able to pull away from these guys, he must have been working on that. So you can see the sense of urgency in all the rest of these guys trying to get around. Jorge's maybe getting a little frustrated, but good to see him. And you can see that number 3 behind him, a couple positions behind him. Will?
James, you said it. Good to see Jorge running up front there with that front pack, and the team no doubt will feel exactly the same way because they have been working very hard. We had the off weekend after High Point last weekend, and they have been at it just testing. They've been on the sand, trying to find good sand settings for Jorge, and I asked Oscar Villman there, the crew chief for him, what's made the difference? He said, well, one, a little bit of gaps made up with this being sand. No, it's not European-style sand track, but it is more familiar. Everything this year for him is new, so a bit of familiarity will take it. And he said on top of that, it's just adjustment to the bike. There's a lot of things he said that the Kawasaki is just different. They've worked to sort of bring that familiarity back to him, and Jorge, they said, it's just kind of like he's got this attitude of just adjusting to the bike too. So those things coming together, we're just seeing a stronger start to the day to him, James.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I had a chance. Oscar was my mechanic, so they got a lot of experience over there at Kawasaki. So Jorge needs to just continue fighting the game, and he'll continue to get better. It's hard being the champion that he is. He wants to win, and you know when you got the number 3 Eli Tomac coming behind you, makes things really difficult for him. Good to see him up there, but I'm really interested to see what Tom Vialle does. He's been talking about, you know, his.
Just held on to that, James.
Yeah.
And Vialle goes down.
Yeah, and I can tell you what that was caused. He wasn't sure if Michael was going to get back on the track, so Tom was out of sorts because he was looking at Michael, lost the front end, and that was a bummer. But what I was going to say with Tom was these opening laps haven't been his strongest point of the year, so we won't be able to find that out until second moto. But man, that's a bummer for actually both these guys because they lose Tom to Haiden Deegan, but especially Tom. Oh
yeah, and early in the race, Vialle's going to go way back now. I think he's in 11th place. Harrop up to 3rd now, ahead of Kitchen.
Yeah, he's been riding really good, so we'll see. Will?
So looking at Michael Mosiman, the great position that he's in right now, he was talking to me early and telling me, honestly, this is sort of the first time that he's felt really good. Apparently he had a stomach virus off the back of Thunder Valley there that took him out, he said, for 2 whole weeks. He said he was so depleted, he was drinking chicken noodle soup twice a day for like a week. And he said he got to the High Point round and just had absolutely nothing. James, you know how tough these tracks are, these outdoor trucks, and how much it takes out of you. So if you don't have any energy in the first place, you're basically done. So he said, now I'm healthy. I was able to put in some good days on the bike, and hopefully it's going to show today, and it is in Moto 1. one, guys.
Yeah, no, that's tough, and I've been in a position, as all these riders have, when you go up to the second moto. Sometimes I'm sitting there in between motos. I'm like, I don't know how I'm even going to finish this race, let alone, you know, go out there and compete. So it just shows you how much determination Michael has, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from just his, you know, excitement to be back and, you know, his perspective on life. You know, this guy broke his neck, people. Like, he was out, wasn't sure if he was ever going to race again. So him being back out here, he's looking at this, you know, being out here, just a good thing compared to where he was, as Levi Kitchen makes his pass across Mikhail for third place. I'm happy for Michael.
It is a great story, the return, but I want to ask you this. Okay, he's gates down. Prado drives it in deep. They're side by side. He went off the track to try to get Jett. Jett to the lead again, but Prado is second.
Yeah, it just shows you what that confidence does with Jorge. He tried to get in there, but that right-handed, he couldn't stop. Jett Lawrence is out front. Eli Tomac got a better start. Looks like Hunter Lawrence slides up in the third place. All right, here it is for these guys.
That's what we wanted to see. Now Hunter putting pressure on Prado.
Yeah, you can already see the gap that Jett's already able to get. It's going to be important for Eli to see if he can go past Hunter Lawrence up the inside. He makes the move.
Oh, James, he's got it. Can he seal the deal? Hunter's fighting back.
Yeah, he's got to try to block. Nice pass by Eli. Now he's got to get around to number 70. It's going to be tough, but Eli knows he had the pace in the first moto. He believes he had the pace. Now he's got to get up there and run with these guys. They made some work on the track. Maybe made some of these lines that he easily inside and outside.
Hey, they both have a lot to prove. It's not just Tomac that wants Lawrence. Much better Jorge Prado today. Can he keep the 18 in sight? This is as highly anticipated a battle as Tomac versus Lawrence. What does Prado have to offer? We're going to find out.
Yeah, and the way Jorge's been riding all day long, we were kind of overlooking the fact that, you know, maybe Eli needs to get around him. But, man, Jorge's been riding really good. He's got some pace. So can he get that pace going early this moto, this second moto, and keep Jett Lawrence in sight? We're going to find out.
Yeah, this is a scenario everyone wanted to see. Jett with another hole shot, but these two have clear racetrack. Hunter riding well in fourth. Barsha fifth. And they are in full send mode on this first lap.
Yeah, I mean, some of this track's starting to change up a lot. And I feel like with these guys, they just got to keep Jett within 3-4 seconds. Even if he's able to break him here in the beginning, if you can keep it in, because that beginning part of that first moto, Jett got that huge lead and then it stabilized. You know, you heard Hunter talk about, you know, it was just an opening couple laps. Man, I know that hurt Daddy Tomac right there, that overjump in there, but that lead stabilized and those guys were able to hold that gap. But if he can get it, they keep stretching, race is going to be over. So it looks like Jorge's in a better position this moto for sure.
Okay, so James, how does Eli play it in third? Is he as desperate to pass Prado if he sees Prado keeping Jett in sight? How does he play it?
No, I think if Jorge keeps Jett in sight, like you said, Eli would just sit back as long as he doesn't get that pressure from Hunter Lawrence. What he doesn't want is the 18 getting away from him. And it looks like Jorge right now actually has a really good pace. Actually, he's kind of closing back in on Jett. So, yeah, Eli, let him play, you know, pick and roll style. Let Jorge go after him. Jorge hasn't had any experience against Jett Lawrence, so let him go for it. Looks good.
I want to show you this start. Prado just wasn't going to let Jett Lawrence have it.
Yeah, and you wonder, Jorge, he actually had the jump, but Jett was on the inside, and this is that right-handed first corner. The reason he goes out so far is because he can't stop. You know, he's got to slide and slide that bike before he has to turn. So you can tell by his attitude, Jorge wanted to be up front. That was the most aggressive I've seen him off the start. So, look, it started from practice, being fast. Now you're starting to see that two-time champion that we've seen out here.
Early in Shimoda, but it's actually Kitchen who maybe wants to run with Deegs.
Yeah, Levi actually made a few passes that first lap, and look, this is probably the first time he's seen Haiden Deegan around since the Riders meeting, so good to see him back up there. And Levi had a good pace to go in that first moto, and the one thing you have to do with Haiden, just we heard in the 450 class with Eli, look, you got to be able to see these lines, and now they'll get a chance to see maybe where Haiden is really quickly, where Hayden's been fast all day long. We'll see.
Swoll right here in this group of riders that you knew would be quick. Kitchen, Shimoda, and Vialle. He's in the middle of that fight on the Triumph. Then Hammaker on the Kawasaki 6. DeFrancisco Smith, Mosiman, Masterpool top 10. Look at those results. Moto 1 for the Triumph squad in their second year at this game. 5th and 7th with Harrop and Swoll.
Yeah,
and then it was 14th and 19th there for Smith and Fortner. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I would say, like, Jalek Swoll, to his, his credit, the one place that he might struggle with is in the beginning part of the race, that he's been injured all year long. So it's not surprising that maybe some of these guys get around him, because this is his 3rd moto back, or 4th moto back after coming off that Achilles injury. So might struggle a little bit in the beginning part and then settle in. But that 7th place, that first moto, was really good. Let's see what he can do the second one.
Shimoda on the Honda HRC progressive machine working on Swoll, returning from an Achilles injury, and that's honestly pretty early for that. It was November where he was injured. Back to the racetrack, the last event at High Point. And Swoll told me that was a little early, but he knew any kind of fitness he could build before Southwick would probably be to his advantage. So that's why he raced High Point. Figured it'd still be tough today, but he has been tough in his own right and not relenting to the 30.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed by Jalek ever since he's been on this Triumph for the last couple of years. Like, I mean, he's obviously gotten better and better, but this year, to see how he came back at, High Point, really impressed there. And today, just equally as impressed to be able to get that 7th place, that first moto.